people. A little bit late on a Sunday night, and I finished a book. The Thief, the Cross, and the Wheel, and it's subtitled Pain and the Spectacle of Punishment in Medieval and Renaissance Europe. I haven't had this book for a real long time. I'm sure that I bought it this year, and the first time I picked it up, I read 49 pages, and then I set it aside and started reading something else, as I often do. I guess I thought this was gonna satisfy my sadist side, and it was gonna talk about the spectacle of punishment. It really didn't. What this was a history of religious iconography. Medieval painters from the 9th century all the way up until they did discuss the 1700s, and even at the end they talked about the Nazis using religious iconography, and they even talked about Andy Warhol on the very last page. Andy Warhol did some kind of photographs of old electric chairs and shit like that, but that's what it was. It was representations in the form of paintings and woodcuts, and I know more about the two thieves that were crucified with Jesus. I know more about that now than I ever cared to know in my life, and how they positioned them on the cross, and all kinds of crazy shit. This was actually a horrible book, unless that's your thing. And if that's your thing, if art history, religious art history is your thing, then hey, more power to you. It reminded me a little bit of the last time I went to the DIA in Detroit, the Detroit Institute of Arts. They got more Jesus pictures there, baby Jesus pictures. They got 150 of them. And when I went there, it was right when I was in the middle of reading about the Napoleonic Wars, and a lot of these books about the Napoleonic Wars have these wonderful portraits of people. And I suppose I thought that's what I was going to find at the DIA. No, the DIA is landscapes and Jesus pictures. They had some other kind of cool stuff there too, but I'm not getting down on the DIA. DIA is fine. Just get rid of some of them fucking Jesus pictures. I do have a few notes in here, not many at all. I was kind of interested in the wheel. And the wheel is a fucking horrible thing. How the fuck anybody could do that to another person? How the fuck people could go and watch that done to another person? I don't know. I first read about the wheel when I was reading a book, The Last Cruise of the Batavia. And maybe if you live in Australia and you love Australian history, you might already know about the Batavia. But most people are completely unaware of the Batavia. It was a Dutch ship, and it was trying to get to the Dutch East Indies, and at the time, that part of the world wasn't even mapped. They ran into a fucking coral reef. The Batavia sinks, and they all go to their little tiny coral islands, and they end up having this war, and it's fucking Lord of the Flies, and then they get rescued, and the authorities find out about all these horrible things they had done. And I just remember reading that the ringleaders of these horrible things, they just got their heads cut off. And one of the guys that just kind of got shoved into this, he gets put on the wheel, and the wheel is just this fucking horrendous form of punishment. I had one note from the first 49 pages. and it was about a Jesus theme park in Italy. I should have wrote the year of this, and now I don't remember what year it was. But pilgrims, Christian pilgrims, did not have access to the Holy Land, so I think it was before the Crusades and after the Muslims had taken over the Holy Land. So it must have been around the year 700, 750. They built like a theme park where they recreated all these things. One of my other notes is they mention Josephus twice in this book, and Josephus is a comical character to me because he kind of seemed to be everywhere and saw everything. Uh, I don't know about that, you know. Okay, I've actually seen paintings of Calvary where there's a skull laying right at the base of the cross Jesus is on. And let's get one thing straight here. I'm not even sure that there was a person named Jesus. So I'm speaking of this as mythology, right? But there's a skull, a prominent skull there. I've seen this before. They explained it in this book. The mythology is that Adam was buried right where they put Jesus' cross. This next note, I'm kind of nitpicking here. They're talking about an artist from Westphalia who was alive in the 14th century. I don't think Westphalia was the name of a country or the name of a province in the 14th century. I believe that Westphalia was a creation of Napoleon in his Confederation of the Rhine thing. But I'm nitpicking there. And I might be wrong. Crurifragium. That's spelled Crufragium. And that's when they had people with clubs be up there being crucified. And people with clubs would come around and break your legs. Maybe even hit you with a sword and break your legs. And my note here says, was it actually mercy? You would think that if you're up there and things are bad enough, somebody comes around and breaks your fucking legs, that's not mercy. But it is, because when you were being crucified, your legs tried to hold you up so that you could breathe. And your legs got tired, you sagged down, and then you couldn't breathe. You rested for a few minutes struggling for breath, and then your legs tried to prop you up again. And if your legs were busted, you couldn't prop yourself up, and you died all that much sooner. So, at one point in the book, there was little interesting parts in the book. They talked about where the Romans may have got the idea for crucifixion in the first place. And it said that they probably learned this from the Carthaginians. And the Carthaginians were fucking crucifixion crazy. This is a novel. It's called Salambo. They talk about the Carthaginians crucifying a lion. And I just, did they really get a live lion and crucify it? How the fuck could you crucify? I don't know. I have another book in there that I'm trying to finish, and it's about the Roman games, and part of it in there is about humans versus wild animals, lions, tigers. I'm very interested in how the fuck did they get a tiger to roam, and this thing about the Carthaginians crucifying a lion. The book Salambo was written during the Mercenary War. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, the Mercenary War was a very no holds barred, filled with atrocities. And apparently they had crucified a lion just as a warning. I don't know. How the fuck do you crucify a live lion? I thought I had some more notes than this, but that's it. The little wooden thing that you see on the cross that Jesus rests his feet on, that didn't happen. They never put anything like that. If they were to put something like that, it was probably not a good thing. They probably wanted you to live a little bit longer, and so that they could torment you a little bit longer. The book's got a lot of wonderful pictures of crucifixion scenes, and they're all a little bit different. Like I said earlier, I know more about the two thieves now than I ever cared to know. I'm going to put this one on the shelf and start something else. As some of you might be aware of, I'm going through financial hard times, and we still have a fucking pandemic going on, so I'm not going to the store to buy new books. I've been whittling down my pile of books that I've began and stopped. I started out with like 35, and now I think I have 18 or something like that. And I got books on the shelf. I'll be scanning my bookshelf, and I'll say, where the fuck did this come from? I never read that. This one was actually sitting on my nightstand. I have a pile on my nightstand. There's about 6 books there. And I think I know which one I'm going to go to next. That's also on my nightstand. Thanks for watching.